Good morning. We're on lesson 20, and this is example 1. And we are supposed to find the greatest common factor, which is abbreviated GCF, greatest common factor for two numbers, 12 and 16. So the way we do this is we list all of the factors of 12 and all of the factors of 16. So this is from yesterday's lesson. 1 times 12, those are two factors. And then we know this is an even number, so 2 divides into 12 6 times. And then we also know that 3 goes into 12 4 times. So there are all the factors of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now we're going to do the same thing for 16. So again, we always know that there's 1 and 16, the number itself and number 1. This is an even number, so we know that 2 goes into it. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then there's one other thing that goes into 16, and that's 4. And we know that it's 4 times 4, but we don't need to list that 4 twice. We can just list it once. So here are all the factors of 12 and all of the factors of 16. The greatest common factor is just like it sounds. It is the biggest number out of each list that is common to both of them. So we see that we have a 1 in both of them. We have a 2 in both of them. We don't have a 3. We have a 4 in both of them. We don't have an 8 in both of them. We don't have a 6 in both of them. And we don't have a 16 or a 12. Hold on. I think I might have gotten the wrong numbers, but we're going to use them anyway. So in this case, the greatest common factor would be the biggest number that's in common, which would be 4. Okay, so the greatest common factor for these two would be 4. All right. That's not example 1, actually, because example 1 was a 16, or 18. So let's just do 12 and 18 so that you can see. 12 we've already done is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. 18 will be 1 and 18. It's even, so it's 2 times 18 divided by 2 is 9. Then 3 times 6. And there's nothing in between 3 and 6 that goes in there, so those are all of the factors. So again, to find the greatest common factor, we just go through the list. There's a 1 in both of them. There's a 2 in both of them. There's a 3 in both of them. There's not a 4. There's a 6 in both of them. There's not a 9. There's not a 12. There's not an 18. So the GCF is 6. So in this case, the GCF was 4. And in this case, the GCF is 6. Now we can do this for as many numbers as we have in a list. So the second example is to find the GCF for 6, 9, and 15. Okay. So find the GCF for 6, 9, and 15. Okay. So the numbers that multiply to be 6 are 1 and 6. 6 is even, so we know that 2 goes in there. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so for 9, it's 1 and 9. And the only other thing that divides into 9 is 3. And that's 3 times 3. Okay, for 15, again, we know it's 1 and 15. We also know that 5 goes in here because it ends in a 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then there's nothing in between. All right, so we have all the factors for all 3 numbers. So we have a common 1. We don't have a common 2. We do have a common 3. No common 5, no common 9, no common 6, or 15. So the greatest common factor in this case is 3. All right, so if you'll just go through this process every time, then you'll see that you just choose the biggest number that's in each one of your lists after you list all of the factors. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.